Alright, here we go. Let's check if it works. It does. Nice. Welcome back to Broke Boys Tier 2. Round 7 of the season at Las Vegas. We're about to kick off qualifying. There we go. Unfortunately, our championship leader, Wardy, is not racing tonight due to an issue, which you hate to see. Especially in the fight for the championship. But that does open the door once again to Jesus, who had a big opportunity last week. Could not maximize the result. And Sean won the race in Spain, meaning the top 3 in the championship are covered within 3 points of each other. Wardy leading with 81 ahead of Sean and Jesus with 78. And it's a bit of a gap to 10th Cannon, who had a very strong race last week. Just missed out on the win, but was in the fight throughout the entire race from pole position. See what she can do tonight. Anyway, loads of drivers on their out laps. Like Louis is gonna be the first one to attempt a lap time. Yesterday in T-Rex, I think we saw very low 30s, but be surprised if we see a low 30 tonight in Tier 2. Take a look on board through Sector 1 and onto the first of 2 DRS straights. To round off Sector 1. Purple obviously she's the first one to set a time. It's always good to see that purple sector on the top of your screen. Now to a very tricky braking zone, and it's a very important braking zone as well, as it leads to this massive back straight, the Las Vegas Strip, where you need a good exit, and ERS management is going to be very crucial as well around here, especially in qualifying when you decide to use the battery and when you don't. And as you can see on his steering wheel, not much ERS left in the battery, and after this very awkward chicane there is still a bit of a straight waiting for you, so need the ERS for that as well. And then the final full throttle flat out kink across the line forward 32.0 to kick off the times. Order's gonna be the next one to try and beat that. Let's see if they can. Can't quite at the 32.9. And Tasley now to the top. First one to go into the 31s. As 10th Cannon only good enough for P3. So in the 32s. Same could be said for Mitch. As Alpha High Wall now goes to the front. Barely. With a 31.8. Only a couple of hundreds ahead of Tasley in the Alpine. Josh Boschman finally returning. Good to see him back on track as well after a short break, and Let's see if he can impress again for the Williams team. Cross the line for 32.4 as a banker lap, right behind his teammate for tonight. And then P8. Gold Samurai has invalidated for once, not reserving in the Williams seat like he usually does. He will start his second flying lap. Asa also invalidated somewhere on his lap. Jetty now on the lap, I think they were on outlap just now. Let's see what they can do. We can't look at the steering wheel. Actually 100% ERS still in the battery, so not sure if they used any of it. Might not be a push lap then. And it isn't, as they lift off before the final corner as Skullkiller up to P9. Gold Samurai on the lap again, this time not invalidating. 2 more corners. You don't want to hit that curb on the inside, and he does, and that is yet another invalidation. Right. McLaren reserve driver tonight, Sean now. Last race winner. Just started their lap time. At the moment it's still Alpha High Wall on provisional pole position, and it's all sliding around there. The Red Bull of Sean. Really hard on his first push lap, as Hasa now into the top 3, into the 31s as well. Purple second sector now for Sean, as he saved up enough ERS for these final 2 straights, interrupted by the chicane. He's got just a bit of ERS still in the battery, so should be okay. Let's see if he can go to the front. Very nicely turned into the chicane, but turned a bit too early into the second part of the chicane and hit the inside wall and the outside wall. And I wonder how much that has affected his lap time. We're about to find out. Across the line, still gonna be provisional pole position with a 31.5, and it shows how much time he still got in his pocket. So it's gonna be a contender for pole position for sure tonight. Gold Samurai on another invalidation, as Jesus is approaching from behind. Yet to the lap time. On the penultimate corner. Now flat out to the line. And up into P11 only with a 32.353. For third in the championship at the moment. Seems to be struggling in this second half of the season. Sure what Josh Bushman's doing, reversing racing line, or off it, I should say. But anyway, Tolu has left the session. Not sure what's going on there, but try to get him back as soon as possible if I can find him, or they're offline. Sure what's going on then. Anyway, Louis now to the top with a 31-2. That's quite the advantage over the rest of them. Good effort. Jetty now across the line, the moment in P17, but improves to P15, 2 thousandths of a second behind Scorder. Slowest of all at the moment. So we see Alexis Beast on a lap time as well. Hits the wall on the at the end of sector 1. Turn 5, I think it is. Nicely over the inside curbs. Really attack them in this middle part of the lap. Seems to be a decent exit onto the Las Vegas Strip. It's a long wait before you can open the DRS. Meantime, Josh Boschman now up into the front row with a 31-4. Tenths behind Louis. Just a bit over a tenth of a second ahead of Sean. We see the Red Bull now coming across the line for what is going to be P13. Gold Samurai on another attempt. Seen him invalidate his lap times quite a few times already. Let's see if they can keep it within track limits this time. Still without a lap time. .26.0 to start off their lap. Sliding around a bit. And slight tap into the wall on the exit as well. Not the cleanest laps so far. Let's see if it's any quick. Really attacking the inside curb on the entry. Almost everyone is in pit lane, but the Gold Samurai not again invalidates, running over the inside curb of the final chicane, and I think that's like the 4th time that has happened, and with 4 minutes remaining on the clock he still has not set a lap time. He pulls into the pit lane. And Sean on an out lap, the only ones to be out on track right now. We were right on board with the man second in the championship, sharing his position with Jesus, both on 78 points, 3 points behind championship leader Wardy, and Sean about to start his lap. Well, he has started his lap already. Let's see what he can do. If he can find any sort of time. Still with 3 minutes on the clock. Has gone out quite early, but he is ahead of all the traffic. So he will have a clean track ahead of him. Try and improve. And it's 79 thousandths of a second improvement in sector 1. Not much, but could make the difference. He finds just a little bit more time in sectors 2 and 3 as well. Right behind him is our current provisional pole position sitter. Oh, and into the wall goes Sean, and that will be hampering his lap. And he's not improving anymore, half a tenth down in the second part of the lap. Not sure if Louis is improving as well. Might just get a little bit of a slipstream from Sean here. Runs quite a bit over the inside curb though. I think that will compromise his exit a little bit. He comes across the line. Is it going to be a 130? 131.1. It is an improvement. Not a big one, but it is an improvement for Louis, and he extends his advantage at the top to almost 0.3 of a second. Not quite an improvement so far for Tashley in the Alpine. He's got a weaving Aston Martin right in front of him. Hopefully they will get out of the way. And they do, eventually. Only needs to find a few hundredths of a second to get inside the top 4. He's got some work to do in his final sector, but it's looking pretty tidy around the final chicane. Across the line for 31.6, and that is an improvement up into P4. Does Tulu have a quali ban? He does not have a quali ban, but he just left the session. I saw him complain about lag spikes in chat as well, so not sure if he's going to be rejoining as Tashley retires on track, which is not really what you want to be doing. It might hinder other drivers who are on the lap. Let's see, Sean improves his lap time, but not quite enough. 31.2, 7 thousandths of a second behind Louis, as Josh Boschman is 0.2 up in the middle sector. Can he find any more time? Haas has gone up into P4. Flag has fallen. Chetty across the line improves up into P12, then it's a 2. Saubers of 10th Cannon first was on pole position last time out at Spain, across the line into the top 3. Very good effort. Alvarez well pulls into the pit lane. He is not going to be able to improve. Then it's Mitch 0.3 up as well across the line, only good enough for P9 in the end. And Josh Boschman in the end not quite able to convert his improvement into a pole position. It's a little bit over a tenth off. And Sean is not improving as well. Is there anyone else out there? Can try and deny Louis from his first pole position. Skoker across the line up into the top 10. P9, and that's a solid effort. Yusundi then in the Williams into the top 5. So Williams P3 and P5 at the moment. Could definitely get them into a nice point position come the end of the race. I think Jesus is going to be the final one to cross the line, as the Haas has been disqualified from the session. Jesus has backed off. Well, he's marked it at the end of the Las Vegas trip, but not sure what's going on. I think that is qualifying over, and it's the other Haas of Louis on pole position, ahead of Sean, Josh Boschman and Tent Cannon. That is going to be your top 4 for the race. Seven thousandths between the top 2. Absolutely mental scenes, I've got to remind drivers to not ready up just yet. Anyway, Unisundi P5 has a Tesla Alpha wall. Jensen Skoker are rounding out the top 10. Wait a few minutes before we go to lights out. Ferrari are leading the Constructors' Championship by 20 points over Mercedes, but it's not looking too great tonight, with one driver absent and the other one down in P10 on the grid. So could Mercedes, Sauber or Williams make up any ground? Gonna be the question. Williams are in a pretty good position on the grid, so who knows? Gonna be a very tactical race with that long back straight. Staying inside the DRS will be very, very important. I think the undercut is going to be very powerful as well. Just want to stay within that leading group. You go for an overcut. Well, you've got catching up to do, and that's very difficult when you don't got the DRS assistance. Everyone else at the front does. See if we can try and get Tolu into the race. Should be on the grid, so let's hope he can actually race. I don't think he's going to be able to change the strategy or fuel or anything, but at least he's going to be able to race. And we're about to get ready for round 7 of the season here in Las Vegas. The lights are on. Louis is on pole position ahead of Sean. And as the lights go out, we will be on the way. It looks to be a great start from Sean. He does have a great start, and if needs, he gets the position away from Louis, and Sean takes the lead into turn 1. Ahead of Louis, then it's Josh Boschman fighting it out with Tent Cannon on his outside. Wheel to wheel through turn 3. Sundi up at the P5 Alpha High wall. There as well, the Williams and the Saubers going at it. Tent Cannon up into P3, but having a big slide on the braking into turn 5. It manages to stay in control of the car, and she's up into 3rd position. So that's a pretty good start so far, but the best start has been for Sean as he's taking the lead and creates an early advantage over the competition. One seems to be making it through this opening lap unscathed, so that's good to see. Tolu, not sure if he's driving already. Now it's going to be a massive slipstream fest, and Louis is going to go for the move already at the end of lap 1. Pulls to the outside with the help of a bit of ERS. Sean now will slot back in behind, and that's Louis back into the lead. As we end off the first lap. Wheel to wheel into the final corner. Sean keeping his foot on the inside of the Haas into turn 1, but ultimately has to back out, and Tent Cannon trying to have a look around the outside. Now up the inside of Sean into the next corner, and Sean running a little bit wide. Now has the DRS and is gonna pull to the inside, or is he? Not sure if he has, and Tent Cannon is gonna go for the double move into turn 3 on the inside of Louis, who runs a little bit wide, but now we'll have the inside line for the next turn. So Tent Cannon will have to back out, but she's up into P2. Strong start so far, 2 positions gained. Same could be said for a teammate Alpha Wall, who's up 4 positions already since the start. He's suddenly having a bit of trouble on the hard tires. Yellow flags are out, and it's the Mercedes of Jens who has spun with Tasli, and they're all the way down the order. We see a bit of a recreation of Max Verstappen and George Russell between Alexis Beast and Jesus. Here comes Chetty trying to take advantage of both of them, as Tent Cannon takes the lead on lap 2, and that's the 2nd consecutive race where she has been in the lead. What a start it has been. Louis in P2 out of Sean. They are all on the medium tires. Haza is on softs, Sunday on the hards, and I think we've got Squatter on soft as well. The rest of them all on the mediums, and Jens is going to pull into the pit lane. He's got front wing damage, and gets 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane for good measure. Top 4 covered within a few tenths of a second, and it's Josh Boschman just closing the gap. And the entire top 16 is within DRS range of each other. Let's see how long that's gonna stay like that. Tent Cannon leads onto the back straight, but no doubt Louis will have a go with the help of slipstream and DRS, everything. John has fallen a little bit behind, but he's got the DRS, so he's got nothing to worry about at the moment, as Louis takes the lead once again in this race. Alpha Paul is having a little look around the inside and the outside of Sean. Ooh, gets cut across by the Red Bull, and stays in P4 at the moment. And there comes Josh Boschman with a great exit. Coming out of the penultimate corner, and he takes that 4th position away from Alpha Paul, as his teammate sets the fastest lap of the race. But then it goes to Tolu, as Josh Boschman loses control, but doesn't go around fully, and manages to stay out to the barrier, but that drops him all the way back down to P7, and that has now created a gap between Sean and Alpha Paul, although Sean very late on the brakes. Now the gap is back down to 7 tenths. Coker having a moment as well, dropping down to P10. It's all kicking off here as Jesus up the inside, wheel to wheel with the Ferrari, and the Ferrari holds on to that top 10 position. Another lap, another DRS battle, and this time it's going to be Tent Cannon to be the one behind. And with the DRS assistance, was the full 2nd gap to Sean. Maybe these two could try and break away from the rest of them and make it a 2-horse fight instead of a 4-way fight like it was. But Sean is closing the gap back down with a bit of help of the ERS. The battery 7/10 now the gap. But there's definitely a big gap to P5. Haase going wheel to wheel with Yundi Suni around the final corner. That are now up the inside into turn 1. The sportsman trying to recover, and that's once again a moment, but this time there was a bit of contact between himself and Haase. And once again managing to stay out of the barrier. It drops down to P8. Been a bumpy start so far for the Williams driver. Still all within DRS. Down to P15, and that's Tode going wheel to wheel with the Red Bull. Tode trying to recover after not being able to set a lap time in qualifying and having to join as the race started. But he's in this group, so plenty of opportunities to still score good points. Oh, unless you do that fully into the wall, and Scorder gets caught out right into the back. And I think it was Mitch as well. He's got damage as well. That was a massive misjudgment from the Alpine, straight into the barrier. And that has ruined his chances of a good result, unless there is going to be a neutralization safety car later on. Josh Washburn struggling once again, getting passed by Chetty in the McLaren. In the meantime, Louis has taken the lead once again on to lap 6. And that's Haase into the pit lane, and his teammate is following him as well. Haase started on the softs, and his teammates got front wing damage. Tolu Scorder in as well. They all got front wing damage. Alexis Beast ahead now of Skolker into the top 10. Drivers starting to slip, they certainly are. The opening phase of this race has now passed, and trying to get into a rhythm. And some are managing it a bit better than others. As you can see, riding on board with the Red Bull, Jesus, being all out of shape. And having a massive slide going on to the Las Vegas Strip. And Tent Cannon retakes the lead of this race. Just like last week, swapping positions basically every single lap. When Louis is under pressure, Sean is now up the inside, and that is Louis down 2 positions, down to P3. Sean now up into P2, but that's a massive send into turn 1, way too late on the brakes. Was a bit too optimistic then by Louis, and losing a position to Sean regardless. Absolutely sent it up the inside. A big slide from Sean as well, still staying with Tent Cannon. Going to be hard to create a gap in this race on this track. Oh, into the wall was Skolker. He's fortunately enough to not have any damage, I think. Not any visible damage to the front wing. We've got yellow flags, and that's Tasli who's had a moment. Alpine not having a great day so far. Both their drivers forced to stop. Tesla's got front wing damage as well. Alpha High Wall is trying to make a move on Louis, but not quite able to. Now up the inside. Oh, that's very close, and into the wall goes Louis. Gets squeezed a little bit, but that's moved to Sauer now up at the P3. But crucially enough, does not have the DRS of Sean ahead. So that could become a bit of a problem if Sean and Tent Cannon start to work together. That's going to be very similar scenes to the previous round at Barcelona, where we saw these two swapping positions every lap as well. Oh, into the wall, and Louis has spun it, crashed out, still in this race, but front wing damage. And the man who started from pole position has spun out of this race. And he's going to be forced to come into the pit lane. That is unfortunate to see. Lost control at the exit of turn 5 and straight into the barrier. At the front end it's a fight between Tent Cannon and Sean. Just like last week, Alpha Wall not within the DRS margin, 1.92 seconds behind. He's not going to be able to close that, I'm afraid. Got 4 seconds though to Unisun. He's on the hards. So still in a good podium position. And Sauber is in a very good position at the moment. First and third at the moment. Jesus getting past Josh Bosman. And Alexis Beast also having a look on the outside. Louis into the pit lane. Will have to change his front wing. Will probably put on a sort of hards till the end of the race. I think his teammates had a bit of a moment. Oh, Alexis Beast has had a moment, and they're right in the middle of the track. And resetting to track, that's what you need to do, but he's got damage as well, I think, to the front wing itself kicking off in this race. And I wonder if there has been contact between themselves and Josh Boschman. He's dropped out of the DRS as well, of Jesus. So, not sure what's gone on there. Sunday and Gold Samurai swapping positions, trying to work together a bit. Wheel to wheel now into the chicane. Chetty on the inside, Jesus on the outside, trying to go for a move, but unable to get past just yet. And that's Gold Samurai has had a moment on the exit and has now dropped out of DRS. Now on to lap 10 of this race, still 16 laps to go. Jesus and Chetty wheel to wheel into turns 1, 2 and 3. Jesus trying to go the long way around the outside. That's just not quite gonna work. Neither of them have the DRS somehow. Alexis Beast has retired in pit lane. That's gonna be our first retirement of tonight after a full 10 laps. Alpha Wall trying desperately to stay close to the top 2. We're now going to be swapping positions again. Sean retakes the lead. And here comes Jesus on the inside of Chetty, and this time he does get the move done, and he's now up into P6. Ten-second time penalty for Sean for speeding in the pit lane. That's going to be crucial in this race, and that's going to absolutely ruin his race. Speeding in pit lane penalty. You would not believe it, but that's great news for Tent Cannon, not so great news for Sean. And even if there's a safety car, we'll have to get it removed. So is that his chance of a race win reduced to 0? For the man second in the championship, he won last race fighting against 10 Cannon. With this race, will he be able to do the same? I'm not quite sure, because I don't think he's going to be able to pull a 10-second gap. 10 Cannon is not quite within the DRS though, but has to stay within the 10-second margin, and I don't think that's going to be a very difficult task. 1.1 is now the gap, both of them pitted onto hards. That has completely ruined the race for Sean. Then Cannon using her battery a bit to try and close the gaps, now under a second. Team at Alpha Wall now into the pit lane as well, and this could become a very good day for Sauber. If Alpha Wall stays within the 10 seconds as well, they could get a 1-2 in this race. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Still a long way to go, halfway into this race. Anything could happen. Sundy inherits the race lead now. Still out there on his hards. Chetty continuing on as well on the mediums. There's Haasla, who pitted very early in this race. Went for the undercut, and P6 at the moment, albeit with worse tires compared to everyone else. It's almost 3 wide on the DRS straight, first DRS straight. Damage for the Haas. Jens is going wheel to wheel now with Skorder. Oh, into the back goes the Aston Martin of the gearbox of the Mercedes. Not sure what's going on here, but let's try and keep it clean. Tolu trying to make something of his race, going wheel to wheel with Louis. Both of them having to pit for front wing damage earlier on in this race, and Tolu is going to be able to get past and is up into P9. As Yundi Sundi has now pitted as well. Up the inside goes Louis. That's very optimistic, and that's what you're gonna get when you try to go for a move like that. And it's put Tolu into the wall, and you dislike to see that. It is race ruined for Tolu and Alpine. Wouldn't be surprised if he retires it in pit lane. Damage to the front wing. As Sean has now taken the lead of this race on track. There we go, Tolu is retired. Sean has taken the lead, and he's got a car between himself and Tent Cannon, but the important thing for Tent Cannon is that she's got the DRS, and Chetty will be disappearing into the pit lane soon, I'll assume. Actually, Chetty's gonna go for the move onto Sean, almost 3 wide. Chetty retakes the lead despite being on 13 lap old mediums. Staying out for another lap. To frustration probably for Sean, who wants to create a gap at this stage of this race. Tent Cannon gets past now as well. Past the lap of the race goes to the other McLaren of Gold Samurai. These two are now going to be able to drive away. And Tent Cannon right at the back of Sean, where she needs to be in these final 11 laps of this race. Contact between Jens and Skorder, not sure what's going on here, as Ron is going wheel to wheel with Skokiller. And Cannon takes the lead of this race as Skorder and Jens are going at it once again. Gold Samurai gets past Haza up into P6 and now in contention of a P5 within the DRS range of Unisundi, who is on the mediums though, so they are going to be quicker in this stage of the race as Al5 Ball gets past Chetty, because Chetty pulls into the pit lane finally after 15 laps, or 14 laps I should say, but the softs go on, so a very aggressive strategy. We'll have to do 11 laps on these tires though, so good luck. He comes out in P10 right behind Mitch. Gets past immediately with the help of DRS and a bit of slipstream. Oh, Mitch almost into the wall as Skorder was retired in pit lane. That was a big slide from the V-Carb. At the moment Sean would finish only P5 with his penalty applied. He once again gets past Tent Cannon. At this moment Tent Cannon's got absolutely nothing to worry about. Has to stay with the Red Bull. Ten laps to go in this race, and Sean is out in front, but he's got that 10-second time penalty. Joker up into P12. The fight going on for P4 between Unisundi and Gold Samurai. Al5 Ball, a bit of a league of his own at the moment. 4 seconds behind his teammate, 3.5 seconds ahead of Unisundi as Tent Cannon once again takes the lead of this race. Gets past Sean on the back straight. Gold Samurai now gets past the Williams and is up into P4. Tent Cannon could just sit behind every single lap and just finish the race behind Sean, but it will certainly feel better to win the race actually on track, as she sets the fastest lap of the race as well in the process, 32.9. Nine laps to go, 8.5 to be exact. And these two are just swapping positions. every single lap. Same can be said to about these two, Gold Samurai and Yundi Sundi. Goes Sean back into the lead on lap 17 of 25. And Yundi Sundi gets the position as well on Gold Samurai. Still the gap is 4 seconds to Alpha Evo. It's actually grown a bit, I think. So it's not really working. Got another fight going on. It's going to be 3 wide between Josh Bosman, Chetty and Louis. Chetty on the inside, contact between himself and Josh Bosman, who's almost into the wall, and he spun. Josh Bosman spinning out. And you just hate to see that. Fighting it out with Chetty and Louis, but coming off worse. And we'll be down to P13. While seeing the battle unfold between the Haas and the Ferrari up ahead. I think he's got damage to the front wing, but his race is certainly ruined. Just over 7 laps to go in this race. 10th Cannon will probably overtake Sean again. If we stretch this out to the end of the race, I think it's going to be Sean who will overtake 10th Cannon on the final lap, but they could try some DRS tactics as Gold Samurai gets himself a 3-second time penalty, and that's has absolutely ruined his chances of finishing in P4. As he also gets overtaken again by the Williams. Don't have to worry about the position behind though, because Haza is got a penalty as well, and Chetty has spun it, and he's spun with Louis, so Louis driving straight into the wall and retiring on track. Very, very nice. Chetty into the pit lane in the same position where they collided with Josh Bosman last lap. Chetty and Louis collide on this lap. And Louis has retired. Chetty into the pit lane with front wing damage, and Josh Bosman back into P9. And he might still finish in P8 where he was just before he spun. So not too bad after all. I think Mitch has got a 3-second time penalty, but I think he will be able to close that gap. 7/10 at the moment. Another lead change in this race. Sean gets ahead of 10th Cannon for the 10th time in this race, I think. Something like that. Jens here in P14 driving without both his front end plates, but continuing on regardless. Oh well. Almost lost the entire front wing as he almost drove straight into the wall. Hope he doesn't retire on track. And it's another 3-way fight into this awkward chicane, and it's almost gone wrong again. This time Josh Bosman is able to stay out of trouble for once. Has lost the position though to Skullkiller. Oh, it goes for a move up the inside and half spins it. Not for the first time in this race, and now he's gone into the wall and he got damaged again. Oh, it's not the race for Josh Bosman at all. Involved in so many of these little incidents. Not quite able to keep his nose clean, unfortunately. Gold Samurai now back ahead of Yonisuni, but that does not matter with his penalty. But he is ahead on track at the moment. 5 laps to go in this race. Sean leads from 10th Cannon. Jesus is now up into P6, ahead of Hassa, who has got a penalty anyway. Jos Bosman loses another position. He better can just pull straight into the pit lane, put on a set of softs, get the fastest lap, that extra point, because I think he will get any higher up at the moment. And since the top 15 score points, it's pretty pointless, no pun intended, to retire it in pit lane. Hassa has now put on a set of softs as well. I think Josh Bosman is gonna do the same. Sean leads, but for how much longer? 10th Cannon gets ahead. Back into the race lead. Four laps to go. And will there be any changes to this order at the moment? At the moment we're looking at a Sauber 1-2. Sean, I think, will be able to hold on to that final position on the podium. If it finishes like this. Could become a massive day for Sauber in the championship. And not only as a team, but for 10th Cannon as well. When her championship rivals, I should say, are not scoring very well, except for Sean. But Jesus is down to P6, Wardy is not scoring at all. So she is going to be back in this championship fight. Just to hold on for 3 more laps. Cindy once again ahead of Gold Samurai. Skoker always manages to not get himself a penalty, and this race is no different. But he gets ahead of Mitch on track as well. And let's take a look. Hassa has got 6 seconds. He has to stay within 6 seconds, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do that, because Hassa is on a brand new set of softs. Let's set a fast lap of the race. Still in hands of 10th Cannon, but Josh Bosman has gone for mediums, by the way, but let's see if he is going purple. We'll find out in a moment time. 2 laps to go. 3 laps to go. 2.5 for 10th Cannon and Sean. No fast lap of the race for Josh Bosman. It stays in hands of our current race leader. Two laps to go onto the penultimate lap of this Las Vegas Grand Prix. Dan Cannon still on course for her third Broke Boys victory in Tier 2. Fought all race long last week at Barcelona, was leading the race going into the final lap, but got overtaken by this very same Sean in the Red Bull. And that Sean went on to win the race, and they almost just took each other out. That was a bit too close for comfort. Sean has got around 8 seconds now to Alpha High Wall. He's not going to gain 2 seconds in one lap, I think. He's got hardly any ERS left in the battery. Dan Cannon has got plenty, and she's just going to stay behind for now and overtake him on the final lap. Just win it on track, which is always a better feeling than winning it due to a penalty. Final lap of this race. Sean leads the way on track ahead of Dan Cannon. Josh Bosman is reversing onto the racetrack once again in this race. Not the first time we've seen that. Does not matter though. He's in P13 anyway. Will score a few points. Hopefully he will get out of the way of the two leaders. We go straight on at not sure what corner that is, but around the sphere, the Las Vegas sphere. Just one more sector to go. Sean is leading, but Dan Cannon will have the DRS, slipstream, ERS, everything. Sean deploys all of his battery and it's already empty. And here comes Dan Cannon. Deploys the DRS, pulls out, takes the lead on the final lap of this race. Dan Cannon leads going into this final chicane and the run to the line. And it's gonna be redemption day for Dan Cannon. Last week she lost to Sean, but this week she's not gonna lose, because Dan Cannon wins the Las Vegas Grand Prix, her third Broke Boys victory. Last time the Scottish beat the Welsh, but this time the Welsh are on top ahead of the Scottish, and Alpha High Wall makes it a 1-2 finish for Sauber. What a performance, flawless drive from Dan Cannon from start to finish. And that must feel very good after last week. And it puts her in a great position in the championship as well. Yundi Sundi in P4 ahead of a Gold Samurai. Jesus Haza P7. Skullkiller will be pretty content, I think, with P8 just ahead of Tronten de Haas. Mitch in P10 to round out the top 10 positions. Tasli in P11 ahead of Chetty. Josh Bosman, Jens already finished in P13 and P14, the final two points scoring positions, with a few retirements on track. Well, not on track entirely, but retirements either way. Not the most exciting end to this race, but it certainly was a good one again. British Isles on the top 3, but Wales is gonna be the one on top tonight. Cannon victorious, Alpha High Wall makes it a perfect day for Kick Sauber, because Tent Cannon also got the fastest lap of the race, meaning maximum points for herself and the Kick Sauber team. On in P3, Unisuni Gold Samurai, Jesus Haza, Skullkiller, Trond, Mitch, Tasley, Jetty, Josh Bosman and Jens. And Louis Scorder, Tolu and Nexus Beast, 4 retirements, will not score any points. But that's it for tonight. It's been a pretty calm race at the front end. Congrats to Sauber and Tent Cannon on the win. And that's going to be the end of tonight's race. Next week we shall return to the Red Bull Ring for round 8 of the season, the Austrian Grand Prix. I'll see you by then, but for now it's goodbyes and enjoy your evening. See you next week. Ciao, ciao.